resources that we have through our insurers, but those only have about 90 courses. This gives us access to about another 20,000 courses. So, for example, it has better trainings on sexual harassment training for managers. So we've had this last year, we budgeted it for this year, so just bringing it before you for request for renewal.
How many people are taking courses through this?
I only do 30 seats a year. I'm using them right now for the assessor for some of their training needs with some of the issues in their department they've had, so that's about 10, and then I save the rest for remedial training as needed throughout the year. I anticipate with an upcoming issue we'll probably use another 10 seats.
So the 30 seats, can you roll over and use them multiple times, or is it just 30?
I can, we can reuse 25% within a year, and then it resets each year.
Okay. Okay.
So there's a portion that we can get rid of and reuse.
Okay. Any further questions on this?
No.
No. Then I would move to approve the LMS contract as presented. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Christie?
Christie Clauser, Comptroller. I just have before the board the settlement agreement. It's just a new opioid agreement. The board needs to sign, and then I will upload it, and potentially we'll just get more funds.
Any discussion on this?
No. Been utilizing the funds, keep getting them.
Can I by chance take that?
When we're done. Is there any further discussion on this?
No.
Okay, then I would move to sign the agreement opioid statement as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Scott, you want to come up and we can finish the master plan discussion?
Can we add a little bit to the resolution on the signing the contracts? We just, last year there was an expiration date on it. I don't know if you guys want to have that again.
The opioid contracts or?
No. On
Oh,
Scott
for
signing
Scott
the
to sign.
contracts.
Oh,
The other thing is the resolution needs to articulate why it's necessary, which it may or may not already do that, which is just due to timeliness of making those agreements. And then Jonathan had also mentioned that they should come back before the board to be ratified, even if it's an executive session.
And we have done that.
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry.
The resolution from last year, let's do the same resolution and put another date of a year on it, or was that a year or 2 years?
This one, it was done annually. This one expired on January 20th, which is why this was put on the agenda, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it'll come before us as a resolution, so
Yeah.
I just follow the same pattern. All right.
Works for me.
That's the danger.
That work for you?
Do we need to do that in the motion, or are we okay with just the discussion? Okay, just clarifying.
To hear and
Okay. Okay, Scott, go ahead.
I know we had an RFQ out there for our master planning services, and I know we're going to talk about that. I don't know what exactly we want to talk about with that. So I know that we had kind of gone through that process. We had interviewed a few folks. We had scored those out, and that's the last of where I know that project's at. So.
So the question is, do you want to proceed with the master planning services or not?
I loved the presentations that were presented to us. I wish that we had the kind of resources that it would take to do those things. Even if we outline some of those projects in a 20-year plan, I mean the cost of building materials and the building expense is going to change so drastically that I think that we'd almost be better served to kind of piecemeal some of those things. I think there's some issues that that I would like to pursue, right? Like a better parking for the wellness complex is an area that I think that we could pursue, and rather than take funds that have not been allocated and allocate them to this project for somebody to give us something that we would like to see over the next 20 years. I think it'd be better use of any funds that we use to actually go out and tackle some of the projects that we know we need to get done. So that is my opinion on that.
Well, in looking at this, I think we actually kind of talked about the wrong thing. And I think I go back to reflect on the conversation we had with the MEC when they were here, and they recommended doing a feasibility study first. And in looking at the difference between a feasibility study and a master plan, I think the feasibility study is probably the better way to go because it puts a price tag to things. It also tells us what the risk of doing what we're potentially wanting to do is and gives us the economic viability versus just laying out a bunch of projects and say it's going to cost this. The economic or the feasibility plan tells us if what we think we want to do is even feasible or not. So it's a better risk analysis and a better price analysis. And it then paves the way for putting together projects over the course of years or whatever. But so I'm okay with not moving forward with the master planning services because the concerns were, oh, we're going to create this list of projects that we have no way to fund versus the feasibility study would say, here's what really makes sense up there and gives us a cost for it. So I'm okay with making that switch if we decide to go that way.
I like that. We need a plan. I mean, that's part of the problem up there is we piecemealed this and that. And, I mean, like right now, I mean, you'd love to move the covered arena. Not the best spot for the facility. So I can see that we need parts of that, but what do we have money for and where, what direction? But I think that overall, we probably need a discussion over, here's our outlook. And
So-
feasibility would be that direction.
Like the covered arena, right? So like some of the options that were presented, you know, we know that if we were to take the same footprint of our covered arena and actually do a hard heated building that could, a multi-use building that could be used for anything from rodeos to soccer, right? Those things are going to cost $25 million, right? Which again, like super cool. We just don't have that in the community, and I don't
Can
know.
you house inmates?
Figure that out, you know? And so like the reality is moving the arena, although I think it would be a good idea, like we're at the life of that of the covering for it. So you replace the covering for $350,000, get another 10 years out of that building, and maybe things change in the next 10 years. But even to move that and to replace it with the same building, which I would not recommend, is, you know, $1.5 million. So like we don't have the funds for some of those projects, but right now we kind of feel like we're on hold with some of the things that we need to be moving on as our year starts taking off because we don't know what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. Our team, we could put together maybe a more realistic 5-year plan with a few options. We could find some general prices for it and come present it before the commission if that would help. And then I think the feasibility study could help us to identify what the property's best use is, right? You know, we sit on land up there, and land up there is going to get developed, is getting developed like crazy. So, you know, what's the best use of that land? I'm not sure.
Well, I think for this year, tackling the parking issue is priority 1. I would open that up for discussion to see if everybody agrees with that or not, but because the feasibility study is going to take a few months to do, which we don't have for some of the stuff that needs to be done. But
There's no doubt, parking's a big problem.
The parking lot issue, and the reason our hands are kind of tied on that is because with our deed restrictions, we have to have any of those things approved, not only by the board, we also had to have them approved by the Port of Health Trust. And so as we went and kind of had the talks with Sean preliminarily about it, he wants to see something, like he wants to see an actual architectural drawing depicting what that would look like before he makes a decision on that. And so
Invite him to pay for it.
yeah.
Commissioner, any thoughts?
You know what, and I appreciate those people in their presentations, but it did open some eyes up like, holy cow. I agree with the feasibility, but I think the first feasibility study is what in the world can we afford over the next
Sure.
3 to 4 years with our constraints of budgeting, the stomach that people have of spending this money here versus whatever it is. I do agree that we're probably jointly, we probably need to figure out what our priorities is. I think parking is only part of it. I think accessibility ranks right up there next to it. I mean, do we need to move that road to
Sure.
cut out some of that, fifth wheel traffic up through all of that? So if I was going to say parking, I'd also say parking and accessibility, which means do we need to move that road down and quit running those big horse trailers up through all of that?
Well, that's a
And-
conversation with City of Public.
Yeah,
Utilities.
so that
Right,
was-
but I mean,
Yeah, that does.
to
lead
me, that's
into-
part of that feasibility is what is feasible to really, first of all, to do. Second of all, do we have the money for it?
So the road-
And then I think we need to create that feasibility study within our own system to start with. And what's our wish list? And then maybe there are some sponsorships out there. Maybe there are some partnerships that we could do. But I'm nervous as the dickens of, open up something and paying for money for something that we know we can't afford.
Sure.
I mean, you just don't go shopping for cars if you don't have the money to buy one. Well, people do, but I think you get in trouble when you do that. So that's
And
my
that's the
opinion.
only thing that that's what made me most uncomfortable about the
Yeah.
RFQ that we were participating in, was not that the ideas weren't great and that they weren't great people. It was that, like the first presentation, the cost was pretty incredible, so.
Oh, what they've done is remarkable, so.
Well,
Anyway, that's my opinion. I think we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit right there, so.
all right, we'll talk to Shannon to see what we need to do about taking care of that, and then we'll go from there.
Okay,
Does that work?
that works for me.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
You ready? Come on up.
So I have a couple, Matthew Phillips, HR Director, have a couple items under the consent agenda under personnel actions related to paid leave and leave without pay. They're before you, but if you want to go into executive session to discuss more detail, we can do that as well.
Do you think we need to?
It's up to you. The first one, for paid admin leave, I think you're aware of the situation. And I've given you an update on, we should be getting a report from that contractor this week, which I'll share with all of you, and then we can move forward on that issue. This other issue is just a recent FMLA issue that's come up. I have Evie here if you have any questions, but we've met with the employee yesterday just to clarify expectations.
Okay, questions?
No, I believe I have my answers. I mean, and you said in the notice that I saw that you was gonna meet with the employee.
And Evie and Doug did a great job. They met with the employee and Josh yesterday, had a counseling. I think mostly it was an education issue, but I think that went well and it was understood. Correct, Evie?
It was, yeah. It went well.
Yeah, if you're not concerned and you're not concerned, then I'm okay with that end of it. And then the other one, I'm ready for it to end.
I understand. I think I should have a report this week, and then we can go through it next week in personnel actions and discuss how we move forward.
Okay, you have any?
No, I agree. I think letting you guys handle that internally for educational, for everything else, I think is the way to go.
Yeah, I appreciate your efforts on staying on top of that and for your leadership there, so good job. Thank you.
Hey,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, so that puts us to resolutions and ordinances. We have resolution 2026-16 approving tax cancellation requests. We've already approved that or talked about it. So I'd move that we approve the tax cancellation request as presented. Is there any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then we have letters and notices, which is the Commissioners' Proceedings, February 2026. Any discussion on that? I would move that we approve the commissioners' proceedings as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Right.
And that puts us to the consent agenda. Any questions, comments, or concerns on that?
I didn't see anything. I'll make a motion that we approve the items on the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And with that, we are adjourned for